our friendly volunteer to come out to model some of these items. We start off with our lovely mascot, this cute, cuddly, soft toy called Otika. He's going for $30, and I think there's a discount if you buy more. Then we have a new item, this keychain that is really cute, also Otika, that you can hang from your phone or your bag or even your car. And we also have a USB fan that you can attach directly to your phone, and it says, I support PSP. Okay? And there is a cap. Okay? A cap. And an umbrella that wasn't available at the previous rally. So the umbrella is new for tonight and very, very appropriate for the weather tonight. So please head over to our booth and our team will help you out. Both cash and pay now are accepted. So please take home some of these items tonight. And finally, please remember to follow us on our social media channels to hear directly from us and not just the mainstream press. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just search for Progress Singapore Party, one word. And on YouTube, we are Progress Singapore Party Official. So, as you can see, the weather is clearing up now. It was a bit rainy before, but we have your safety and comfort in mind when we remind you, if you are standing here on the open field in front of the stage, please watch your step. The ground is wet and muddy, so be careful to avoid slipping. If you prefer to stay drier, although I do think the rain has completely cleared up now, then you can stay at the stand still, where you can still see the stage very clearly and still cheer just as loudly for us. And if you are carrying umbrellas, please be mindful of those around you so everyone can enjoy the event. Let's keep the energy up and show that a little rain can't dampen our passion for a brighter future. All right, the candidates are here. Are you ready to make some noise tonight? Yes? Choa Chu Kang, Bukit Gombak, West Coast Jurong West. Let's hear you. Wow! All right, let's give a huge round of applause to our candidates as they come on stage. Thank you, everyone. Woohoo!
Hi.
Wow.
Hi, Rami.
Okay, sorry, sit down.
Okay, shall we take a seat? Yeah.
Sit down.
Okay, all right. Kicking off our evening, is our candidate for West Coast, Jurong West GRC, a dynamic voice for progress and unity. Please welcome Sunny Ismile.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Dajia Wan Shan Hao. Salam Sejahtera. Anbana Vanakam. I will start by quoting a passage. There will come a time when eventually the public will say, look, let's try the other side. Either because the PAP has declined in quality or the opposition has put up a team which is equal to the PAP. And they say, let's try the other side. That day will come. Unquote. Who said this? I have to ask you again, who said it? Louder. The whole of Singapore needs to hear this. Who said that? Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, our founding father of Singapore, was a visionary. If the PAP declines in quality and if the opposition can put up a team which is equal, let's try the other side. That day will come. And I say, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew was not only a visionary, but a fortune teller. He was not wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, that day has come. Mark your calendars. Saturday, 3rd of May, 2025. I would like to thank all of you for being here today in Choa Chu Kang, rendering us your presence, despite the early scare with the rain clouds. My team and I from PSP, with our Captain Dr. Tan Cheng Bock, humbly ask for your support. Yes, we need your support, please. For those tuning in on live stream, I also thank you for your time, and please help to share this evening's rally online. Ladies and gentlemen, the PAP has held power since independence. And yes, in our early years, they helped lay the foundations. But they have also held supermajority in Parliament for decades. In the last general elections in 2020, the PAP won 61% of the votes, but occupied 89% of the seats. Now that is a supermajority. The supermajority status of the PAP in Parliament means that they can do what they like, when they like, and how they like, and we Singaporeans cannot do anything about it. That's not right, is it? No, that surely isn't right, is it? This has to stop. And you know what upsets us? The PAP of today is not like the visionaries of the first generation of leaders. They are not like Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, or Dr. Goh Keng Swee, or Dr. Ahmad Matar, or Mr. S. Rajaratnam, or Dr. Tan Cheng Bock. The PAP of today had raised the GST, which hurts us most. Not once, not one time, but twice one year after the other. And then give away some vouchers at us, hoping that we will shut up. Be quiet, go sit in the corner, and be happy with your CDC vouchers. Are you happy about that? Are you happy about that? I'm not. We are not happy. Is this how you want to be treated by the very people you voted to put in parliament? Is this how you want to be treated by the people you voted for? Then, come Saturday, 3rd of May, show them who is the boss. You are! In 2020, the PAP's manifesto was called Our Lives, Our Jobs, Our Future. Since then, GST has increased twice in 2 successive years. Ask yourselves, have your lives improved? Can your lives be better? From 2020 to today, given the rise in the cost of living, cost of housing, do you feel optimistic of your future to return PAP with a super majority? Now, fast forward 5 years, 2025. Their manifesto says, changed world, fresh team, new resolve. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that the PAP is responsible for 2 GST hikes 1 year after another. So do you want to give the PAP a strong mandate? Residents of Choa Chu Kang GRC, Bukit Gombak, residents of Choa Chu Kang GRC, please hear me out. Only one of the 4 PAP candidates contesting in Choa Chu Kang GRC is from the original slate you voted for in 2020. 2 of them were seen from about a month ago, and another one magically appeared on nomination day. Therefore, any mention of continuity in Choa Chu Kang GRC if you vote in the PAP is a wild imagination. I will leave it at that as food for thought. I go back to what Mr. Lee Kuan Yew said many years ago, and I believe, and I strongly believe, that that day has come. Remember, 3rd of May 2025. Now let me be clear. To love Singapore is to want better for Singapore. It is not disloyal to question. It is not ungrateful to demand transparency. And it certainly is not reckless to say enough is enough. My fellow Singaporeans, the PAP has clearly become complacent. The supermajority has made them simply bocap. And complacency is the enemy of progress. Don't you agree? Yes. As we have said, the PAP has lost its way. The PAP is out of touch. No amounts of maps, no amounts of sophistication in GPS technologies can help them to find their way. Campus salah liao, not working anymore. We need AI in Parliament. AI. No, not artificial intelligence, but alternative intelligence in the form of us, Alternative Party, as your voice in Parliament. We are here this evening with no million-dollar titles. We have no big machineries behind us. But what each and every one of us has is the love for Singapore. Let your vote be your voice this election, and let your voice be louder than ever before in 2025. Never, never let fear decide your future. Do the right thing by voting PSP. Ladies and gentlemen, do not wait for another 5 years or simply hoping that the person standing next to you will do the right thing by voting in PSP. You've got to do it yourself. Come 3rd of May, you know which box to cross. If you like what the PSP and CMPs have said over the last 5 years, if you like what you read in our manifesto, then please vote for us. Let this be the election where history looks back and says, Singapore stood up. My fellow Singaporeans, I stand before you and I ask that you vote for a Singapore that progresses for all. Vote PSP. Vote the PSP team for Choa Chu Kang GRC and Bukit Gombak SMC. Majulah Singapura. Thank you.
Woohoo! Thank you, Sunny. Next, we have another candidate from West Coast Jurong West GRC, a champion for opportunity and fresh ideas. Please give it up for Sumar Leaki Amja.
Wan Chang Hao, Malay Wanakam, Salam Sejahtera, good evening, fellow Singaporeans. That was a very inspirational speech by Sunny. I can't match up to him, but I hope I can share with you a topic that is so close to our hearts, so critical for our future, which is healthcare. If you followed us 2 days ago, I talked on the cost of living, where property prices affected our cost of living. Tonight, I'll talk on healthcare costs. In my home visits in my ward in West Coast, Jurong West, I see many elderly couples living on their own. And most of them, if not some, take care of each other. And their situation gets worse if one of them falls sick. Personally, I've seen one elderly man immobile at home, sitting on the sofa, and his wife, around the age of 80 plus, taking care, and shared with me how difficult it is for them to survive with the high cost of healthcare. Nobody listened to them, nobody was with them. I do not know what I can do, but if we get elected into Parliament, surely we'll speak up on this. This reminds me of the phrase that we often hear, can die but cannot fall sick. This is Singapore. Is this our Singapore? Let us reflect. We pay such a high healthcare cost in Singapore through a plethora of payment schemes. We pay via MediSave. If we don't have enough MediSave, our children's MediSave. We pay by MediShield Life, private insurance, and if all these are gone, we pay cash, cold hard cash. One of my residents told me, this is so confusing because they do not know what comes from where and what pays to what. So confusing, even for me. What more the elderly people that I see in my ward? Agree? On top of this, with all the scholars in the PAP, they come out with even more complex schemes like Pioneer Generation, Merdeka Generation Packages, and CHAS. These are good programs, don't get me wrong, but it's confusing to us. And with all these schemes in place, is it enough to pay for the healthcare costs? Let me share with you the figures. According to the World Health Organization, in 2019, let me quote, the healthcare expenditure paid by our government is about 43%. But in other developed nations, the OECD countries, their government pays 75%. This is a stark difference between a first world country and Singapore. But the government claim that they are a first world nation. What do you make out of it? I didn't say that. Somebody said bullshit. I did not say it. Singaporeans are experiencing, like I said, are experiencing first world healthcare costs but receiving less than first world financial support from the government. On top of that, I'm not sure if you've heard of this. MediShield Life premiums are expected to increase by 35% over the next few years. This is ridiculous. But PSP, we have a simple but powerful solution. Nationalize the MediShield Life scheme. The government should pay the MediShield Life scheme fully. Take out all the complexities, take out all the difficulties, and make MediShield Life premium free and health care costs affordable. No more deducting hundreds or thousands of dollars from your MediSave. For this proposal, your MediSave won't go to zero. We also propose flexibility in using your MediSave money. For example, we should be allowed to use MediSave to pay for preventative dental care. For example, crowning, root canal treatments, and dentures. We have an aging population, and dentures are expensive. These are all expensive treatments which we need to pay, and this should be nationalized. So with this flexibility, we as citizens get more options on how we can make use of our MediSave. But for those who can afford, you can buy your own IP programs, you can buy your riders, it's up to you. Our proposal for this will cost about $2 billion a year. But this is money well spent on us, Singaporeans. We deserve this. It does not cost us to have a crutch mentality of depending on vouchers every now and then. We are a first world country now. We should have first world level of financial support. When you go to the ballot box on the 3rd of May, ask yourself, can your life be better? Now, please allow me to speak a few words in Malay. Saudara-saudari, para hadirin yang terhormat, PSP anjurkan satu polisi yang sangat mudah. Penjagaan kesihatan harus ditampung oleh pemerintah. Terutamanya MediShield Life Premium. Kerana ini adalah kos yang sangat tinggi untuk rakyat dan akan meningkat lagi di masa depan. Pembayaran MediShield ini harus dibayar oleh pemerintah sepenuhnya. Kita juga anjurkan penjagaan kesihatan gigi harus di bawah MediShield Life. double MediShield Life. Jadi semua orang dapat penjagaan gigi yang lebih baik. Jadi bila anda pergi ke kotak undi untuk mengundi pada 3 Mei, fikirkan, boleh tak hidup kita lebih baik? Untuk teman-teman saya di Choa Chu Kang yang akan memilih antara PAP dengan PSP, saya nak tanya, adakah anggota parlimen anda sekarang, Zulkarnain, membuat apa-apa perubahan pada hidup anda? Zulkarnain, dengan dia duduk di parlimen selama 4 tahun setengah, adakah dia membuat apa-apa perubahan di dalam hidup anda? So again, I would like to share with you guys, when you go to the ballot box on the 3rd of May, ask yourself, can your life be better? Progress for all, vote for PSP. Thank you.
Thank you, Leaki. And now, our candidate standing in Bukit Gombak SMC. Our Bukit Gombak residents here. Woo! Bringing vision and fresh ideas to the stage. Give it up for Harish Pelle.
Good evening, Bukit Gombak. This is a home ground. Let's hear some noise. Yes, that's what I like. Dear voters of Bukit Gombak, my friends, I saw a lot of friends in the audience, and also fellow Singaporeans who are watching this online right now. Tonight I speak to you not with just words, it's with conviction. It is not just about policies. It's about people. It's about you. It's about us. And it's for our future. I want to talk about strengthening the social safety net. Let's call it what it really is. Social safety net may not be immediately obvious to you, but what is it? It's about making sure that no Singaporean is left behind. I repeat, no one in Singapore is left behind. Let's say it together. No one in Singapore is left behind. Exactly, PSP. Now let's be honest about this. We have done quite well as a country. We have built a world-class city. We have a strong economy. And we have a stable society. Looking at the faces in front of me, this is Singapore. But if you look around today, in the year 2025, can we say with a hand on heart that everyone is okay? Can we say that the elderly auntie at the hawker center who is working, who is 72, is okay? Can we say that the delivery rider who had to battle the rain earlier to do delivery with no CPF is okay? That the single mom who's living in a rental, having to juggle 3 jobs, is okay? I say we can do better. We can do so much better. This is Singapore. We can do a lot better. I say this because we can really achieve it by supporting the PSP. We can do better. Progress for better. I will touch 3 points. First, let's talk about the vulnerable in our community. Our seniors are the ones who built this nation. They deserve more than lip service, more than just vouchers, more than the $1 groceries. And we have seen how some of the $1 grocery events have gone bad. Why do these things happen? Why are events like this for $1 groceries becoming a mayhem? Something is wrong. Let's give people real dignity with proper community care, affordable housing schemes, and support to age at home, not alone. And what about our low-income families? In my walkabouts, I met a lot of low-income families. It pains me to see them that way. Some of them struggle to put on a smile, but I know there is pain behind that smile. Let's not give them handouts only. Let's give them hope. Hope through education, hope through jobs, hope through real long-term support. In our manifesto, which I hope you will be able to read and understand, we have proposed, as was mentioned by Leaki earlier, that MediShield Life and CareShield Life to be nationalized. We also are asking the government to pay for the basic MediShield Life and CareShield Life premiums for all Singaporeans. I repeat, pay the MediShield Life and CareShield Life premium for all Singaporeans. Would you want that? Would you really want that? I can hear you. There are some programs that have been around for a while called Comlink, but that's been about 6-7 years old, and we haven't seen much progress with that. We have to go further to ensure that a child is never born into a disadvantageous situation, and that every family, everyone gets to be able to succeed. In our manifesto, we have mentioned and proposed that $1,250 be paid monthly to caregivers of children 7 years and younger. $1,250 for caregivers of children 7 years or younger. $1,250. Our children are our hope for the country. These are the children that will see Singapore into the 22nd century. In the year 2100, whoever is born today will be 75 years old. There are people who are going to be around who will be 100 years old in the year 2100. How are we going to support them? We need to find ways to make that happen. In our manifesto, we have made proposals for senior citizens as well. We propose a silver support scheme payout to be doubled. The silver support scheme payout to be doubled. How many senior citizens are here? Raise your hands. We are proposing that this be doubled. We have come a long way in the last 60 years. We have a long way to go, but we must make sure that we can all go together. Vouchers are very nice to have. How many of you like to get vouchers? I think everybody likes to get a voucher. But vouchers is not the solution. It's like when you have a cut, you put a Band-Aid. then once the cut is done, you peel it off. But you still don't have protection, really. But we need to ensure that when you are doing what we are proposing, we want to ensure that it is sustainable. We need to give dignity to our seniors. Second point, we will protect our workers in this new economy. Work has changed. Life has changed. Gig workers, freelancers, platform workers. Some of you are in the audience right now. They are powering our daily lives. Yet, many still have no proper support. We say this is not fair. This is not Singapore. Let's say it together. This is not fair. This is not how Singapore is. This is not fair. This is not how Singapore is. Under our plan, every worker will have CPF, insurance, and access to Skills Future. That works, not for show, but really works, so that they can get decent and good paying jobs with the skills that they acquire. We will also be fighting for a minimum living wage. A minimum living wage of $2,250 a month. How much? $2,250 a month as the living wage. In this new economy, it's not just about surviving. It's about thriving. We need to thrive. And we will make sure you can do so with the tools that we are able to provide. My third point, we will build a social safety net that is fair, that is sustainable, and trusted. Yes, it will cost money. It will. But if there is a political will, it can be done. Let me ask you, what are we building all this wealth for, if not to spend on our people? Why? Why are we building so much wealth if we don't spend on our people? We have had tough issues with the rising of the GST over the last 3 years. How many of you like the fact that GST has gone up? That's what I thought. Nobody likes that. But we need to make sure that every cent that is collected, however it is collected, goes to what matters most: education, healthcare, housing, and above all, dignity for our Singaporean core. At the same time, we also need to build trust. Trust that the system actually works, that it is fair, that it doesn't let people fall through the cracks because there is red tape. This is not just a job for the government. It's your job, my job, and our job. Because a strong safety net is just made of policies does not work. We need people who really care to make sure the policies actually work. Let us support our charities. Let us grow our volunteer networks. Let's create a Singapore where help is never out of reach and it is always within sight. Let's build a Singapore that can be a happy and happier home overall. My fellow Singaporeans, this general election is the most important general election in a lifetime. We have seen a change at the leadership. We are now charting a new territory. We need your support. It doesn't matter which party wins, because what we need is to make sure Singapore will thrive. It's about what kind of a country Singapore should be and that you want it to be. And what kind of a country is it for our children and our children's children? Those are going to be living in the 22nd century. I hope that they will look back in the year 2025 and say, hey, this was how the country became better because of the change that we were part of. A Singapore where we say, if you fall, we will catch you. If you are struggling, we will lift you. If you are left behind, we will come back for you. We will build a Singapore that is not only rich in dollars, but rich in heart. Let's build a safety net enough to catch every Singaporean and flexible enough to support every dream. Let's move forward. There is a Swahili idiom that goes something like this. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Let's go together. In a week's time, on Saturday, May the 3rd, a week from today, when you go to the polling booth, think about whether the Singapore that you have can become even better. PSP is what I would encourage you to choose because we can help this to become better. PSP has 60 proposals that we have put up in our manifesto to make life better. Please send us all to Parliament so that we can speak up for you. Before I wrap up, I got 3 more points to talk about. The first one, how many of you have wondered, what does a mayor do? I don't know. I have wondered myself. What does a mayor actually do on a day-to-day basis? If it is not obvious to you, if I have to explain to you what a mayor does, obviously there is no need for that. Let me share with you a story. 5 years ago, I found out that I live in an area called the Southwest CDC. And the Southwest CDC happened to have a mayor. So I sent an email to the mayor of the Southwest CDC asking a very simple question. What does the mayor what does a mayor do relative to what a MP does? I must say that I am very disappointed that after multiple requests and reminders, I never got a reply. It's been 5 years. Sadly, the person whom I sent an email to is also the person I am competing against for Bukit Gombak SMC, Ms. Low. So it's time to get rid of mayors. The second call out is to Ms. Low herself. I had requested for a one-on-one debate with her. I'm awaiting her response. And the last call out is to all the geeks of Singapore. I am a geek. I like technology. I like to make things. I like to have fun. I look forward to seeing you and working with you, the geeks of Singapore, anywhere, those online, anywhere in the world. I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to your support so that I can be the first geek in Parliament. 4 country, 4 people. Thank you, and Majulah Singapura.
Thank you, Harish. And now we have our first candidate from Choa Chu Kang GRC. With a proven track record and a heart for service, please welcome Lawrence Peck.
Okay, everybody, let's start with me. PSP. 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 Voila. Inje, how are you? Good, huh? Happy to see you. So, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out here tonight. I want to start tonight by thanking all the residents of Tengah. I've been there. I've met all of you. I've met most of you. Plantation Plaza, at the community center, and you have been very, very hospitable to me. Why can Mr. Pei Kong? Mr. Pei, Ikea block GGC. He 跟我講，伊會給我 vote，伊聽到會 vote 我，伊是我的朋友，我拄到伊，伊覺得真奇怪，哇，你嘛是姓白，白色的白，小翔，伊叫我接來，伊抱了我，伊大我10歲，伊跟我講，日子真艱苦，真正艱苦，伊搬去當啊，2房。加一個某，2個人 downgrade， 嘛是安尼款了。我今日叫 Mr. Pei 講，我明仔後日我會過去看伊。I promise him I will see him and I'll go back to see him. He's a good man. 他看到我走得很辛苦，他叫我進去。他让我进来，他知道难，他知道很难。没有任何一个人加入反对党是为了钱，真的不是。We joined the opposition, like Mun Wai said, because we want to. I asked him, why did you do this? 點解？你搞乜嘢 ？OK， 係嘛？ Okay? 老老實實 because he wants to. Because he felt that he have to. It is something which he feels that he wanted to do after he met with Dr. Tan. And similarly, in August 2023, I met him. He brought me to see Dr. Tan. I can't describe it to you, but there is this sense of a very deep, common purpose. Men like us, guys like us, people like us, we do things for a purpose. We don't do it for a career. There is no career. There's no promotion. There's no promotion. There's no increment. There's no AWS. There's no bonuses. We do this. In fact, Mun Wai told me, you do this, I want your time, I want your connections, and half the time you'll be paying for something. Okay? But guess what? I said yes. I went back, spoke to my children, I brought my daughter, and we met up with Dr. Tan. Dr. Tan played the ukulele for her. And on the way back, we had a very difficult conversation. She knows my background with the Federation. She knows who I know. She's met some of them. There's a price I have to pay, and I have to pay it. When one of the ministers saw that I was wearing a PSP t-shirt online, I received a phone call. I will not tell you what he said, but I can say what I said to him. I said, does it really matter
What T-shirt do I wear? That we wear. 真的那么重要吗？ He said, yes. He's a young man, younger than I. And that's when I know I lost a friend. But my daughter, my son, is there, supports me till today. I can't do this without their support. I can't. Every one of us here will lose something. Every one of us. Even the Workers' Party. You know what he has lost. You know what they have lost. And we will continue. We know we will have to pay a price. This is a road less traveled. What叫你 join 得假 join 冇? What叫你 join 得假 join 冇? PSP 你假 join 冇? 你假冇？我叫你投票3號去投我人嘅票，假投，咪驚投，假來。你人看到文威，你人看到 Hazel 4年喺 Parliament 喺國會，何人講，何人罵，對冇？這條線安怎算？安怎算？對不？慢你看，哈，我人唔是你看的人。今日早起，我起來看到報紙，我看到我的朋友。這陣嘛是帶出講 PAP 迄道 Jeffrey 佇報紙問我講真濟物件。我今日早起對報紙對 media 講得真清楚。But I think tonight I still need to clarify a couple of things. I wrote an article on the minimum wage. Singapore actually do not have a minimum wage. We have something like a minimum wage. But it's not called a minimum wage. But it looks vaguely like a minimum wage. I agree with Jeffrey. If you look at his comments early this morning, I agree with him on two very important points. Number one, that if you set the minimum wage too low, it is ineffective. Jeffrey is a student of management, Sloan Business School, MIT. PPS, he is a career civil servant. I admire him. Ms. Gan Xiaohuang, a career soldier, also made comments regarding the minimum wage. I am a businessman. I headed up a federation, the Manufacturing Federation, that understands the value of the progressive wage model. That's what we have. I'm not against it. I spoke for it. It makes sense to have the progressive wage model 12, 13 years ago when it first came out, when it was first envisioned, when it was first designed. Productivity, upskilling in order to justify a higher wage, but not a universal minimum wage. 12, 13 years forward, today, and actually since 2018, you can understand that many things have changed. Right now, the progressive wage model, which is exclusionary by nature, it doesn't cover all sectors. Exclusionary by nature is a fancy word to say it doesn't cover everything. It does not. It actually does not. It's trying to cover as many as possible, but it is based on laddering, upskilling, productivity. But given the fast pace of technology, you get very advanced cameras, you get cleaning robots, and even your trays are now being returned by robots. I'm telling you right now that with this rapid pace of technology and products that is coming up, we require a stronger safety net. With a minimum wage, only then that we can build resilience, consistency within our local workforce. The minimum wage will do two things, and you will know that these two things are important and relevant to Singapore right now. Number one, it will protect our local resident workforce against very difficult, very demanding employers. And all employers are difficult and demanding. Number two, it will protect our local workforce against a high cost of living, inflation. Singapore is an open economy. There is nothing very much we can do to protect ourselves against it. We need to implement the feasibility study of a minimum wage. And no, I did not say that it was going to be $300 like in China. How could I? That's just not possible. I did not say that. Opposition voices in Parliament. Opposition voices in Parliament. 我老是跟你講這個物件，伊人攏總 PAP 迄兜的人，你這兜看，迄兜看，這個看，迄個看，相像。唔是政府的 civil servant， 都是 general， 一個衫兩個衫三個衫，暑假你講，攏總有。 對不？我能知道不？有不？有不？攏總是家己人，本地人。We are diverse. We are diverse, and we vote us in, and we will bring you a very diverse and balanced parliament. Parliament is about people representation. It's about you guys. It's about 你人，你人的聲，你人的聲，你人，我人是為了你，我係為了 Mr. Peck。OK， 等下 Block 224。昨日還有一個後生囝 Linda Cat， 他叫我做工，我做工。I'll go back and look for them. Parliament is not about the smartest or the loudest. Parliament is about your voice. It's about the diversity. If you are diverse, we are diverse. We will represent you. Vote for PSP. Vote for PSP. 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 3號做工。
Well done, Lawrence. Now we have our next candidate from Choa Chu Kang GRC. She's a leader with a heart for service and compassion. Give it up for Wendy Low.
Good evening, residents of Choa Chu Kang. My name is Wendy Low, and I'm a lawyer. I'm proud to stand before you as a potential candidate for Choa Chu Kang GRC. My volunteers have recently told me a joke that two very senior ministers have lost their way. One, DPM Gan Kim Yong, who has been walking in Choa Chu Kang for the last 2 decades almost, has walked from here to Pasir Ris Pongo GRC. At the same time and on the same day, Minister Tan See Leng has walked from Marine Parade to Choa Chu Kang. Now, my dear residents, is election a joke? No. He's staying in Choa Chu Kang for now, for the election. So, what is interesting about Minister Tan See Leng, I heard he's very good in Cantonese. And so, I will try and introduce myself in Cantonese too. 大家好，我嘅名係劉慧玲。我係一名律師，我就係全進黨，係佢哋嘅婦女團嘅主席。呢幾年來，我哋為婦女發出佢哋所提嘅聲音，為歧視工作人嘅法律提出意見。所以，如果你哋投前進黨一票，唔只有文慧、Lawrence 同埋我。如果有咩部長可以喺國會同我哋挑戰，我哋唔止一把聲，我哋有3把聲幫你做出回應。Okay, now for English subtitles, I say that if you vote for PSP, not only do you have Leong Mun Wai, you also have Lawrence Peck, and you now have me to respond to any minister in Cantonese. Okay, now for my young families in Brickland and Tinga, Switch Channel. 안녕하세요. 저는 Wendy Low입니다. 저는 봉호세노입니다. 저그 정진당팀 투표 주세요. And I've just said, my name is Wendy, I'm a lawyer, vote for PSP in Korean. Now I know you all watch Netflix, and I know that Korean is growing in popularity, and there is a reason why I'm using Korean to do my introduction. For a long time, the group thing has been to address a crowd in Singapore in our 4 main languages. But like what Lawrence has said, we are here to represent you. We are diverse in our thinking, and we want to reflect the current thinking and not the group think from 60 years ago. So for tonight, I want to talk about 5 reasons why my residents of Choa Chu Kang vote for PSP. The first reason, as Lawrence has mentioned, is that we are a diverse representation. We have no generals, we have no civil servants, but we come from all of you. Lawrence, when I first met him, I thought he would be a good candidate for PAP because he's so well qualified. Not only is he the ex-Secretary General of the Singapore Manufacturing Federation, which by the way is responsible for about 20% of our GDP, He also comes from a long global career with Sony, having traveled through the Middle East, Hong Kong, China, and India, and he brings along a portfolio of business ideas and innovative thinking from manufacturing, from innovation, and being an entrepreneur in his own right. With Nala, who is about to introduce himself, he is the president of the Singapore Remiser Society. Impressed or not? And so, he is not only impressive in his own right, but he has been an active advocate for job transformation for his peers in his industry. Now, which minister or MP do you know has gone out of the way to help a fellow colleague reach out when they are down and out to get another job, to transform their lives and bring home the bread and butter for their family? But Nala is one such person. And for my dear brother Abbas, he has been a safety practitioner and trainer for all his life. And he's responsible for bringing home all our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters safe, to make sure that they see their family no matter how far they are outfield in the oil and gas industry. He takes care of Singaporeans and fellow workers. And so this is the kind of quality, but more importantly, the heart space that we bring to you, my fellow residents. And on the other hand, for the civil servants that they parachute in the last minute, do you need more groupthink in administering your town council? Do you need more yes men in your GRC? Point number 2, where even a senior minister comes in as the Minister of Manpower and Trade. We respect him a lot, having read about his private sector credentials. And he was last the CEO and Managing Director of Parkway Holdings and Parkway Pantai Limited. His forte is in the medical industry. But when we look at the current manpower crunch for our healthcare sector, are we doing well? There is an ongoing lack of nurses and allied health professionals, radiographers, pharmacists. And in the most recent report, while there are 58,000 jobs available now, and that's projected to increase to 82,000 in the year 2030. This is approximately 24,000 jobs that they could have left for Singaporeans. But instead of that, instead of preparing our education, preparing our retraining services, what are they currently thinking of doing? Tenders and job advertisements are put out there to recruit foreigners from Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand, Britain, Indonesia, India, China, Taiwan. They are looking everywhere else but the own soil of Singapore, where you and I live and breathe. For someone from the healthcare industry, why are we falling back on groupthink, on relying only on foreign talents, so-called? And this is not just for the nurses and allied health professionals, but for all Asian parents who want your sons and daughters to become a doctor. In 2020, 2022, there's a report that they are also going to hire 180 junior doctors from India, from Australia, from Britain. And at the same time, they say that there's been an increase of intake in our local medical schools. But why concurrently are they not considering 100% intake from all the aspiring Singaporean sons and daughters who do want to become doctors? Why are we not given that chance? And I recall the story of a taxi uncle I met who said that because his son did not qualify for the high entry exams for our medical school here, he had to exhaust his savings to send his son across to UK to study, and there's a chance that the son may not come back. A father who has spent his entire savings to better the son's life may never see his son ever in the immediate times that he's aging while he's busy being a doctor overseas. The problem of brain drain that we are not even talking about. And yet, when there is a manpower crunch, we look everywhere but Singapore. Is that the policy that we want to continue? And when there is this manpower crunch, it gets compounded by hospitals who have to delay the admission intake of our elderly parents, our uncles, our aunties. And in a 2024 report, it is said that the National University Hospital and Ng Teng Fong had to put up signs at their emergency departments telling patients they have to wait as long as 60 hours for a bed. Is this acceptable? What is our manpower minister with all his experience in the medical industry doing for Singaporeans? We respect him. We respect his professionalism. But since he is here, we will need the residents of Choa Chu Kang to send a clear message back to the government that we reject his thinking and his policies, and we do not want him here. Third, our team want to bring about innovative thinking in our education and employment solutions. I've walked amongst you for the last 1 year or so in the West, in Choa Chu Kang. I've met a cardboard uncle in DPM's ward, pushing a cartload of cardboard. Do you know how much 1 kg of cardboard can fetch him in today's price? 0.04 cents. And this uncle in his 70s or maybe 80s with a hunchback has to pack 10 kg of cardboard to earn 40 cents. And what can 40 cents buy you today in Singapore? Not even tissue. Tissue is $2. If you buy from the tissue auntie. Maybe. Okay, many innovative solutions out there. And interestingly, while most people think that new citizens will vote for the PAP, it is increasingly not true because they are feeling your pain as fellow Singaporeans. While walking your grounds in Choa Chu Kang, I met a new citizen who has been in Singapore for the last 20 years. He has applied for 2,000 jobs, done all the training he needs to do, and 3 years later, burning $150,000 in saving, he is still without a job. And he was an IT manager in a big logistics company. And if this is happening even to your new citizen neighbors, what does it speak of our Singaporean lives and livelihood? So we need a rethink of our educational policy. We need an urgent reimagination to de-stress our children from high-pressured exams like PSLE. We offer them 10-year through road if they want to bypass your PSLE so that they can be healthy, holistic children who will be ready to meet all your AI disruption. They will think creatively of innovative solutions so that they'll be better prepared. We reject all groupthink from the PAP because our children are our future. And so, my fellow residents, I hereby declare to you, the time is now to vote for PSP, and there is no better time. This is Dr. Tan's last election. If not now, there will be no other time. We have 2 NCMPs, and their record is proven. They will ask the most number of questions, no matter how tough, and they'll be our mentors to make sure we do the same for you. Time waits for no one. Because if I do not make it past the post, you and your children and your elderly will have to wait another 5 years under the oppressive PAP policies with increased costs of living, with unaffordable HDB, with delayed hospital admission, with no jobs in sight. The loss will be upon a hesitation. And I'll ask you not to hesitate anymore because 3rd of May, we will all go out to vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to give your biggest welcome up on stage, our chairman and founder, Dr. Tan Cheng Bock. Announcement to make. Today is a very special day. Today is Dr. Tan Cheng Bock's 85th birthday. Now, although we cannot sing Dr. Tan, we cannot sing Dr. Tan a birthday song. I'm sorry, because we cannot sing at rallies. Okay. Oh, okay. Can we all wish Dr. Tan a happy birthday with a big cheer? So on the count of 3, can we all say, Happy birthday, Dr. Tan? Okay? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Dr. Tan! Woo! All right, thank you, Dr. Tan. Happy birthday. Our next speaker is the third candidate from Choa Chu Kang GRC. He's a passionate advocate for unity and progress. Please welcome Abbas Kasmani.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Choa Chu Kang! Good evening! My name Abbas Kasmani. Now, I went to all the residents. When I met them, they don't remember my name. But I say, it's okay. Very short. Do you take a bus or not? Sometimes you take, right? So, Abbas. So, remember this. Don't forget about the Kasmani. That's cash money. So, we are back. We were at 2020. So, we come back for you. We never fail. We never give up. We are for you. You come back. Yeah, good. Now, since 2020, last election, we keep going in Choa Chu Kang. We walk. We meet the resident. We use our hearts and mind. We use our leg. We go to every block the best we can. We have no media coverage. But it's okay. We know that you know us, that we saw you, we talked to you. We want to thank you for accepting us in Choa Chu Kang. Now, 30 years ago, about that time, the government called for support. They call it, if you remember, seniors, total defense. Remember or not? Yeah. So, we chong lah. We support lah. We defend. We protect the country, the economy. But then now, the PAP 4G, what they want from us. And they say to us, total depend. Depend on the voucher. You depend on the scheme. Do you want that or not? Never mind, you say you want, you take after you use lah. But then, you don't want this forever, right? No. Yeah, cash. Definitely. Now, how long do you think you can go on like this, accepting voucher? But then, if you have a better salary, high salary that we had before, enough to cover our cost of living, would that be better? Now that will be a long term for you and your family, and most important is give you the right of your dignity. And your family will be proud of you too. Imagine you go home, you carry the money, you work, and you show your family. They smile. But then today you go home, you show the voucher. Now you want respect, right? You want respect. But does the 4G, PAP 4G give you respect? Doing like this? The other thing is, if you want to go far, and you don't want what you want now, then you vote for PSP. PSP. Progress Singapore Party. Now, senior brothers and sisters, if you remember the 60s, 70s, right? Life difficult, right? I can see you in front of me. But then we work very hard. Not enough money. The government work very hard. We work very hard together. Now, the PAP 4G says our country is very rich. Rich with borders. How come most of us still in financial suffering and difficulties if we are so rich? Now money not enough. Job hard to get. salary low, cost very high, how to survive. Well, I like singing and rap. I do rapping for you. Huh? Now everything PAP 4G take. They take that and then they say tax, you pay. This one, they say tax, you pay. Okay lah? We pay lah? We pay and pay. But then, is it right? Manai sai, cannot every time pay and pay. So now, they tell us they are always right. They do the right thing. Now I ask you, you tell them, salah mai kong pun salah. It means you say wrong, you don't say so you wrong, so quiet lah. Now, my friend, Papa, Mama, Pachi, Machi, Uncle, Grandpa, our children is suffering. Have to study very hard. We struggle, but after they graduate, do you think they get a job? My colleague was saying, one of the residents couldn't get a job. And I know that. I have friends, daughters, sons, couldn't get a job. Can I? Because they say job is available. Can, gardening, graduate university gardening. Something wrong. Now think carefully when you cast your vote. When you vote for the opposition, or you vote for us, the alternative voice for you. Don't worry. The country won't close. Tomorrow you work normal, everything normal. Alright? You're still breathing. But let me ask you. If you vote wrongly, the cost of living will go up. Yes or no? Yes. You die. GST go up. Yes or no? Yes. Die already. Right? Say with me. Die already. Housing costs go up. Die already. COE go up. Die already. Basic transport go up. Die already. So how long? No. So how long you can tahan like this? Tak boleh tahan. So think carefully. Now last time our past NCMP, Mr. Leong Mun Wai and Hazel, fight for 5 years in Parliament, debate. 1% opposition fight, 5 minister hantam. Wow. But they never give up. Right? You're welcome on behalf of them. But they never give up. They keep going. Now our leader, Dr. Cheng Bock, he never give up. Now the job of the government is to take care of his people. Long term, not short term. Giving voucher is just a short term thing and it's not enough. My fellow Singaporean, listen carefully. The next 5 years, if you go on like this, think, can you tahan or not? No, don't mati. We want you here. Don't. You go the next 10 years, you can tahan or not? So 3rd May, you go there and then you see this logo here, PSP. You know what to do. Alright? Progress for all, and vote for PSP. Thank you. Now, may I have your permission to speak in Malay for my fellow brothers and your brothers too? Boleh kah? Terima kasih. Thank you. Oh, Kasmani. Para penduduk Chua Chu Kang, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I just say peace upon them. Saya ingin bercakap tentang meninggalkan Singapura yang lebih baik untuk generasi yang akan depan, yang akan datang. Nama saya Abbas Kasmani. Tadi cakap naik bas lah. Okay. Kita sudah kembali di sini balik. Daripada mula 2020, waktu undi pilihan raya yang lepas, kami tidak berhenti. Kami jalan terus. Ketuk pintu di rumah. Bercakap dengan residen, dengan awak. Perkara-perkara yang awak ada kesusahan. Kita simpan rekod apa yang awak bagi feedback pada kita. Nah, 30 tahun dulu, kerajaan mengata, yang saya kata bahasa orang putih, total defense. Maksudnya, kita bantu kerajaan. Jaga Singapura. Jangan fail, jangan jatuh keadaan ekonomi dan segalanya. Akan tetapi, kerajaan sekarang 4G. Bukan lagi total defense. Total depend. Voucher yang awak pakai itu, itulah total depend. Voucher yang nak bagi pada awak itu, itulah total depend. Cukup tak cukup? Mana ada cukup? Saya pasti anda untuk jangka panjang dengan rasa kebanggaan untuk anak-anak. Jadi, kalau gaji tinggi, kos murah, hidup senang tak? Oh, jangan. Jangan. Jangan, ya. Tapi adakah kerajaan hormat pada kita dengan cara gini? Hanya menghormati golongan masyarakat yang mereka suka. Tiada pada awak semuanya di sini. Jadi abang-abang, kakak-kakak, senior, ingat. Bila datang masanya, bila awak bekerja siang malam, tak cukup tidur, gaji kurang, pulang di rumah, penat, lelah. Kerja lagi. Bila mau habis gini? Itulah pilihan awak masa depan, tukar itu. Jangan. No. Papa, ibu, uncle, auntie, akong. Take care, jaga you punya anak. Cucu, grandson. Don't allow them to live like this in the future. Don't. Yeah? Think. We will support you. We will work with you. And all these the candidates one day will become minister. Yes or no? Kalau awak salah undi, kos hidup akan naik. Kalau awak salah undi, GST akan naik. Kos perumahan naik. Jadi bagaimana? Boleh tahan tak? Tak boleh tahan. Okey. Jadi PSP, Parti Kemajuan Singapura. We want to help your economy. We want to help Chua Chu Kang. We want to help you to raise a better salary for yourself and not for others who are not Singaporean. Okay kah? A bit Japanese lah. Jadi ketua kami Dr. Tan Cheng Bock di sini, dia tidak pernah putus asa. Dia terus, dan NCMP kami Leong Mun Wai dan Hazel terus berjuang, tidak putus asa. Jadi tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, masa sudah di sini untuk awak memilih yang terbaik untuk diri sendiri dan juga untuk masyarakat yang lain, anak-anak kamu. Jadi, kemajuan untuk semua, undilah. Vote for vote for. And last one, say this with me. Tell them, Salah Mai Kong Pon Salah. Say, Salah Mai Kong Pon Salah. Say, Mai Kong Pon Salah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, let's hear it from our final candidate from Choa Chu Kang GRC. A tireless advocate for the people, please welcome Nala.
Thank you. My dear fellow Singaporeans, a very good evening to all of you. Wang Chang Hao, Singaporean. Selamat malam, rakyat Singapura. Inia malai vanakkam, Singapore kudimakkale. From the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you to each and every one of you for coming down this evening. The God has been kind to us as well. Initially it was raining, now it's such a wonderful weather. Thank you, God. I want to share the recent story on nomination day. We PSP candidates, we come punctually, we gathered on nomination day at the coffee shop at 9 a.m. After that, diligently, when the nomination center opened at 10 a.m., we went, all 5 of us, 4 from Choa Chu Kang GRC and 1 from Bukit Gombak SMC. We went to the nomination center, we were the only one first there. That is the mark of punctuality. At the nomination center, we file our nomination papers from 11 to 12. They only can file at 11. We finish everything and we were waiting and waiting. No PAP from Choa Chu Kang GRC was there. They only came, I think, about 11:30, 11:35. And then we were looking for DPM Gan Piyong, Bock. How come? He has been your MP for almost 20 years. But Bock, I can understand part of PAP strategy. He has gone to Punggol GRC. But did he tell you all? Do you all feel sad? What will you all do now? You must vote for? Yes, PSP. And look at the other thing, our honorable leader, Dr. Tan Cheng Bock. He is celebrating his 85th birthday with all of you here. So what is the best present you can give him? You must vote all the 13 PSP candidates to Parliament. Can you do that? Thank you. Okay, now a brief introduction of myself. I'm Nala here, and I'm a chartered accountant by training. I'm also the president of the Society of Remisers Singapore. As a chartered accountant, I can assure you we will look after your town council monies well. And we will run your town council and make Choa Chu Kang GRC a model constituency. I'm also the founder member of Progress Singapore Party. And the first treasurer. I respect Dr. Tan greatly because he's a kind and compassionate man. Even at this age, he should have been retiring and enjoying his life. He has Singaporeans at heart. All 13 PSP candidates have your heart in mind. We want to build a better life for you. We will work hard for you. We are sincere and we want to build a much more compassionate Singapore where no man is left behind. I totally agree with PM Lawrence Wong. He said Singapore is a beautiful vase. We live in a very united, multiracial and multi-religious society. And here we at PSP will never break this beautiful vase. We will work hard to unite Singaporeans together. We don't want this income disparity between the very rich and not so rich. We want to narrow the income gap, where every Singaporean has a stake in Singapore. We need to share the wealth to all Singaporeans and not to a select few. On this note, please allow me to say my message in Tamil before I switch back to English. Thank you. என் அன்பான சுவாச்சுக்காங் குடிமக்களே, சிங்கப்பூர் அனைவருக்கும் என் மனமார்ந்த வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். என் பெயர் நல்லகருப்பன். என்னுடன் வெண்டி, அபாஸ், லாரன்ஸ், சுவாச்சுக்காங் ஜிஆர்சியில் நிற்கிறார். மற்றது ஹரேஷ் பிலே, புக்கெட் கோம்பாக் SMCயில் நிற்கிறாரு. உங்கள் வாழ்க்கை தரத்தை மேம்படுத்த முழு முயற்சி எடுப்போம். விலைவாசிகள் குறைக்க பாடுபடுவோம். வேலை வாய்ப்புகள் சிங்கப்பூர் மக்களுக்கு முன்னுரிமை கொடுக்க நாடாளுமன்றத்தில் வாதாடுவோம். தைப்பூசம் கூடுதலான போது விடுமுறையாக பரிந்துள்ளோம். மற்ற 2 நோன்பு பெருநாள் மறுதினம் சீன புத்தாண்டு முன்தினம். சிங்கப்பூர் முன்னேற்ற கட்சிக்கு வாக்களியுங்கள். உங்கள் வாழ்க்கையை மேம்படுத்த நம்ம கஷ்டப்பட்டு எப்பொழுதும் பாடுபடுவோம். மிக்க நன்றி, வணக்கம். Now I'll continue my speech in English. There are 2 key issues that is close to my heart that is affecting most Singaporeans. One is cost of living. The other one is job availability to Singaporeans. First, I touch on the first issue, cost of living. In 2020, GE2020 and now GE2025, I compare the 2 prices. Kopio in 2020, how much? 90 cents. Now how much? $1.40. How much is it gonna buy? 50%. Chicken rice. In 2020, $3. And now how much? I not check, that one high-end one. Now I talk about hawker center. $4.50, $5. How much is he gonna buy? 50%. Yes. Look at nasi biryani. Last time $4. Now minimum $6.50, $7 or more. How much gone up? More than 50%. Everything gone up. What has not gone up? Your salary, right? Can tahan or not? Yes. So what must you do? What? PSP? Yeah. Hey. Okay. I ask you, what does PAP stand for? Pay and pay.
And then what does PSP stand for? Please stop paying. We at PSP understand your concerns because we are one of you. We take the MRT or bus to work. We eat at the hawker center. We can feel for you. But those at PAP, they are earning big salary. They are very comfortable. They cannot relate to you. So that is the key difference. We are here. We understand your concern. We will be here for you. We will be your voice in Parliament. Send us to Parliament. As a responsible party, we have requested the government to reduce the GST from 9% to 7%. Of course, the government always say, you say everything reduce, give here, then where the money come from? We have a plan. 9%, you see the GST in the last financial year, the GST income was $20.6 billion. So if you reduce from 9% to 7%, 2% reduction, you loss of income of $4.6 billion. But the surplus for the latest financial year was $6.4 billion. So do you think they should have raised the GST? So do you all agree that GST should be reduced back to 7%? Thank you. The next key issue that is close to my heart, I think many Singaporeans also are affected, is job availability for Singaporeans. I'm the president of the Remiser Society of Singapore. Due to digitalization, many remiser jobs have been displaced. I've been in discussion with the authorities how we can transform these jobs so that we can save these jobs. I will likewise do for my fellow Singaporeans as well. To be fair to the government, they have provided upskilling programs and also they have provided decent subsidies. But the problem is here, the roadblock is here. After all this upskilling, is there any job for you? So I feel this is where the government has erred. You provide the upskilling, then you must find jobs for them. Otherwise, people say, after upskilling, then what? So they end up, quite a number of them, they end up doing Grab delivery or other temporary jobs. Is this the right thing? I'm not against Grab delivery and all that. This is an honest paying job. So I relate to you my own personal experience. While I was distributing flyers, there was this Grab delivery rider riding quite quickly. I managed to slow him down and I passed him the flyers and also our souvenir, the tissue and the magnet. So I asked him, I asked him what his age was. He said he was 48. Then I asked him what was your previous job. He said he was an engineer. So I said, engineer, why are you doing this? He said, I was retrenched. Then I said, can you find any job? He said he applied for so many jobs. No employer was willing to employ him because of his age. Then I said, then did you check, they have some government agencies to help out and all that. But he said he tried. They have these coaching classes and all that. But there was no job available. And he has 2 young kids to look after. So he said no choice. This is a good honest job, Grab delivery, to put food on the table. But is this what he has been trained for, an engineer doing Grab delivery? I can feel the empire. I feel sad for him. His tears well out in his eyes. I feel sorry for him. Singaporeans, these jobs are meant for you. Why are we allowing foreigners to take away our Singaporean jobs? We are not against foreigners. If we don't have the necessary skill sets, by all means, employ foreigners. But we have top-class universities and polytechnics. They have been, they've been schooled 12, 13, 14, 15 years. And yet, only the top end can get jobs, but the mid to lower end can't find jobs. Is this right? No. Must this be changed? Yes. What must you do? Yes. Okay. Thank you. I have to end, left 1 minute, so I cut short already, okay? So the thing is that on 3rd May 2025, when you go to the polling center, you must ask yourself, when you go to the polling center, you ask yourself these 3 questions. Can you bear with the cost of living now? Who do you think will make a better life for you? So what must you do on 3rd May? Thank you. So, I'm a patriotic Singaporean. I believe all of you here are patriotic Singaporeans. When I say Majula, can you all say Singapura together? Majula! 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 Thank you very much. 谢谢. Terima kasih. Mika nandri. Now, I would like to invite my fellow GRC candidates to come forward. Abbas, Wendy. Okay, Lawrence, come. And Harish, come. We will take a bow from you. We will see you in Parliament. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chua Chu Kang and Bukit Gombak team. Our next speaker is a very familiar face to most Singaporeans. She has spoken up tirelessly for you in Parliament for the last 5 years. Give it up for Hazel Poa.
Good evening, fellow Singaporeans and residents of Chua Chu Kang and Bukit Gombak. I'm Hazel Poa from PSP. I will first speak in English and then in Mandarin. I contested in Chua Chu Kang GRC in my first election in 2011. I walked the ground in Chua Chu Kang then, including Nanyang, which is now part of West Coast Jurong West GRC. As part of PSP, I have also walked in Chua Chu Kang, including Bukit Gombak, after the 2020 election. What I'm about to say next, some of you may already know if you have been following our social media. But some may not be aware yet. If you already know, please bear with me. I'm referring, of course, to the incident at Bukit Gombak on 4th January this year. Okay. Our PSP team had been in high spirits, doing their block visits and wishing residents there a happy new year. However, what spoiled the festive mood was an unpleasant encounter. The PSP team were followed by people dressed in white who were later identified as PAP volunteers. They followed the PSP volunteers wherever they go, constantly taking photos and videos. For what purpose? Is it to intimidate our volunteers or the residents they were engaging? We do not know. This is not the first time we had encountered unpleasantness in Bukit Gombak. I personally had encountered a similar incident in November 2024 while conducting house visits in Hillview Estate. We were followed by men in plain clothes and ladies in white. and my conversation with the resident was video recorded. Ms. Low Yen Ling, the MP for Bukit Gombak, did not acknowledge any misbehavior by her party's volunteers, but instead accused a PSP volunteer of slapping a PAP volunteer. Dr. Tan had responded back then that such allegations must be thoroughly investigated by the police in order to ascertain the truth. Ms. Low Yen Ling agreed. It has been more than 3 months since the incident. We understand that the police have finished investigating the issue and the matter is now with the Attorney General's Chambers, or AGC. We would like to call on the government to release the outcome of the investigation. Residents of Bukit Gombak and Choa Chu Kang who are with us tonight, as well as all Singaporeans, do you want to know the truth? If the accusation that a PSP member has slapped a PAP volunteer is baseless, do you agree that an apology is due to the poor fella who is falsely accused of assault? This is only fair, and it is the standard we expect of our political leaders. Do you agree? Another concern that arises from this incident is, are our political leaders losing touch with what is happening on the ground? Are they relying too much on what their volunteers are telling them without exercising through due care and critical thinking? Speaking about the truth, we were shocked that after DPM Gunn announced on 14th April that he is heading the CCK GRC team, we realized on nomination day that he's actually contesting in Punggol. I'm sure CCK residents were shocked as well to lose their longtime MP so suddenly. What made the PAP go back on their public announcement? Can we no longer trust the public announcements? Where do we draw the line on what we can believe and what we cannot? I would much rather the PAP had kept the CCK slate undisclosed until nomination day instead of being told something that later proved to be untrue. This is so damaging to trust. Now, Minister Ong Ye Kung said that we need to be upfront with voters. I totally agree. PAP should practice what he is preaching. Trust building is a long and painstaking process. It is built on a long period of track record of competence, reliability, and honesty. Our first generation leaders built up a good level of trust in government with the bulk of the population. It would be a waste to chip away at that. Unfortunately, there has been many incidents in recent years doing exactly that. One example is the Simply Go saga. Before the implementation, members of the public had already given feedback during user testing that the shortcoming of the Simply Go system is that it does not allow card holders to see their balance. And yet, the government decided to go ahead with its implementation. It was only after a huge public outcry that the government decided to reverse its decision. The question is, were the decision makers not aware of the public feedback, or were they aware but disregarded? If they were not aware, it is a case of poor management. They are not managing their organization well if important information is not reaching them. If they were unaware, but disregarded, it is poor judgment. Either way, not a world-class performance commensurate with world-class salaries. Another example is the Income Alliance deal. I find it astounding that NTUC supported the deal while being unaware of the capital reduction exercise to the tune of $1.85 billion. This is not $1.85 thousand. It is not even $1.85 million. It is $1.85 billion that they are planning to take out of income insurance. In my opinion, both NTUC and Income did not perform their duties responsibly on a mega scale. And I suspect that if any of these were to happen during the time of our first generation leaders, heads would have rolled. I also found it rather worrying that CPIB merely issued warnings to 6 Keppel executives because it was unable to find sufficient evidence to charge them, even though the company paid over $400 million in penalty in US for bribery. 187 people came down with food poisoning after eating Total Defense Day meals, but the investigations by the authorities were unable to find evidence linking the meals to the food poisoning. This is also cause for concern. Is our public service falling in competence as compared to before? There are many instances telling us that it is important for us to have more opposition in Parliament to check on the government. Our role as opposition is to keep the ruling party on its toes. A stronger opposition will make them think through their policies more thoroughly before implementation, and make them dirty their hands to drill into the details so that they understand what you face. For if they do not, we would be there to point out their mistakes. And trust me, they don't like that. Please vote for more checks and balances. Vote for PSP. 亲爱的新加坡同胞们，大家晚上好。今年1月4日，就在5级干波，前进党与行动党的志愿者发生了一些冲突。当时我们前进党的团队正兴致勃勃地进行走访，向居民问候与拜年。然而，一些身穿白衣的人紧跟着我们前进党的团员，还不停地拍照和录像。后来确认这些人是行动党的志愿者。他们的目的是什么呢？是为了恐吓我们的志愿者，还是他们所接触的居民呢？我们不得而知。遗憾的是，这并不是我们第一次遇到这样的事件。去年11月，我本人在山景道进行家访的时候，也遇到过类似事件。当时我们被便衣男子和白衣女子跟踪，我与一位居民的谈话也被录了下来。事件发生后，5级干波的单选区的国会议员刘燕玲女士没有承认行动党的志愿者有任何不当行为，反过来指控前进党的志愿者 掌掴行动党的志愿者。陈清木医生当时回应说，这类指控必须由警方进行彻底调查，以查明真相。刘艳玲女士当时也承诺会为警方提供一切协助。事件已经过去3个多月了，据我们了解，警方已经调查完毕，交由检察署处理。我们呼吁政府公开调查结果。如果前进党志愿者掌掴行动的志愿者的指控是毫无根据的，他应该向被冤枉的人道个歉，这样才公平，对不对？此次事件引发的另一个担忧是，我们的政治领导人是不是和基层脱节了？他们是否过于信赖志愿者的说法，而失去了应有的谨慎和判断呢？说到真相，提名日当天也发生了令人吃惊的事。在4月14日，副总理严金勇宣布他将会是蔡厝港集选区团队的领军部长，但在提名日当天，他却跑到榜额了。我相信蔡厝港居民突然失去了服务他们19年的国会议员，也感到震惊。行动党为什么会这么做呢？我宁愿行动党在提名日之前没有透露蔡厝港集选区的名单，而不是这样出尔反尔，这将损害人民对行动党的信任。建立信任是一个漫长而艰苦的过程，它建立在长期可靠、有能力和诚实的基础上。我们的第一代领导人在许多人的心中建立了对政府的良好信任。很可惜的是，近年来有许多事情渐渐侵蚀了这份信任。Simply Go 就是一个例子。在推出 Simply Go 之前，公众在用户测试中已经反馈，这个系统的一个很大的缺陷就是无法当场显示剩余的金额。然而，政府还是决定实施取消现有系统，直到公众强烈抗议之后，政府才改变这个决定。我们的领导到底知不知道公众的反馈呢？还是知道了却置之不理？如果他们不知道，那就是管理不善，导致重要的信息传不到他们的手上。如果他们知道了却置之不理，那就是判断失误。无论如何，这都不是世界级的表现，配不上世界级的薪水。另一个例子是安联收购英康保险的案例。令人震惊的是，执总支持这项交易，却对高达18亿元的减资计划毫不知情。他们打算从英康保险拿走的数目可不是18元，也不是18万元，而是18亿元。这么大的一笔数目要被拿走，怎么能毫不知情就支持了呢？在我看来，执总和英康保险都严重的失了职。这类事情若发生在李光耀先生当总理的时候，恐怕得有人卷铺盖了。还有2件事令我感到担忧。集保公司在美国曾因贿赂支付了超过4亿元的罚款，但我国的贪污调查局却无法找到足够的证明来指控6名集保高管，只能向他们发出警告。最近187个人因食用全民防卫日 演习的计时餐而食物中毒，但当局的调查却不能找到餐食与食物中毒的挂钩的证据，这也令人担忧。我们的公共服务能力是否比以前下降了？许多例子都证明，在国会中拥有更多反对党来监督政府很重要。5月3日，请支持我们加强监督和制衡执政党的力量，请投前进党一票。
Thank you, Hazel. Now, can we please welcome the legend himself, our founder, our chairman, and inspiration to us all, Dr. Tan Cheng Bock.
This is all right. Good evening, friends. Thank you for coming. I'm so happy. I must thank God that I'm 85 years old and still looking after you. Now, many have actually asked me why at my age I should be around, being involved in politics. Actually, my answer is very simple. I care for Singapore. And that is the most important. Because if you see something is not proper, don't just walk away. We must correct it. And that's my philosophy. If something is wrong, we must correct it. Now, you have heard that the speakers. They are the candidates for the coming general election. They will be fielded in Choa Chu Kang, Jurong West, and the other single constituencies. Altogether, we'll have about 14. Am I right? 14. 13. Getting older. Okay. And I'm sure you have heard the speeches. But I just like to just say a few words on these few gentlemen who have been presented to you early. But before that, I think let me tell you that Choa Chu Kang is actually part of my hometown. I started a little clinic in an isolated place called Amaking. It's a very small village. People are poor, they keep chicken, grow vegetables, and when the rain comes, some of the produce are all destroyed. But I enjoyed practicing there. But we were all resettled. And where were we resettled? In Choa Chu Kang. So I have met many of my old patients, my friends, from our village in Choa Chu Kang, in Teck Whye, and now in Jurong West. So I think if the PAP think that putting us in Jurong West is going to disadvantage PSP, I think they are wrong. We will give them a tough fight. Now, you have already heard all them speaking, so I don't want to spend too much time on all these people, so I'm sure you know. But touching on what Hazel said about competency, honesty, transparency, accountability, I think this is where I fear why I left the PAP. Because I always insist that there must be accountability. There must be transparency for things to work well. And when we see it when they are not doing that, it will be a shame if we just walk away. We must take it head on and tell them that, no, this is not the right way to govern Singapore. But having said that, when traced together, remember the COVID incident? The PAP actually asked us to help out in this trace together. And our friend here. We have the expertise. We could not have given to them. But for Singapore's sake, we break down political barriers and think of the Singaporean. That is why I say, go, Harish, help the government. We must not be selfish, because at the end of the day, the country matters. And if we have important measures that we have, we should share for the interests of this country. You see, I like to walk around. At my age, I think all of you got to walk around. But sometimes don't walk too much, those who are in my age, because your knees will give way. That's a medical advice, okay? Free of charge. Now, when I hear people asking me, Doc, why don't you give us some fish? Why don't you give us some eggs? I said, what they're saying? They say, hey, but that side, they're giving all these people eggs, fish. I said, no. We are a first world country. Mai xia sui to tiu. Wei sai xia sui. Nang e quốc gia to be number one. Number one, not number two. Okay? So, also I tell them, no, I have no fish to give you. I got no eggs to give you. But I give you a voice. And the voice are these people. And they will speak up for you. They will tell you where the government is wrong. They will be fearless. And I will make sure they carry on their duty as good MPs in the future. You have watched Mun Wai. You have watched Hazel. Were they just sitting MPs? No. I watched them in Parliament in the early days. I feel sorry for them. They were hit so many times. But these parliamentary wounds, I told them, don't be afraid, because you will grow and you will learn how to fight back. And here, I'm very proud of them. But I don't know whether the government really hear you all or not. But I hear you. When you tell me your price of coffee, a cup of coffee, Nala, how much more? So much more. And also when you go marketing our housewives, they tell me $30, I can't buy much. Now these are genuine problems. So I think we hear you, but they didn't hear you. And the evidence is so clear. Look at the budget. Look at the budget. We had a surplus of $6.4 billion. Now that is significant. They increased the GST from 7% to 9%. And yet they got a 6.4 billion surplus. That means they are not listening to you. Because if they had listened to you, it would at least stay at 7%. So they did not listen to you. But you must ask yourself why they didn't listen to you. I think you must look at our whole political structure now. Because the people who's manning the political systems are the same kind of people. My time, the people who entered parliament are made up of people, ordinary people, trishaw riders, taxi drivers, doctors like me, trade unionists. We were all there. So there was a big group of people with different ideas. But now, be careful. They are picking men and women from the civil service, from the army. This is dangerous. In medical terms, I call it inbreeding. And when there's inbreeding, let me tell you, my friends, when there's inbreeding, there's no change of idea because everyone is scared. They are frightened. The economic system is closed. So there's no one would tell their leaders that they were wrong. During my time, they wanted, when they promoted the nominated members of parliament, I stood up and said, no, every member of the House must get elected, must gain the confidence of all of you to get a place in the House. So I voted against the NMP. It wasn't easy. Of course, they got angry. But you must stick to your principles. And the principle is very simple in this one. If you don't ask the people, you don't just come in, you don't just walk in, you gain a mandate from the people before you can be a member of parliament. So, what I'm telling you, our system is beginning to change. When I became a member of parliament, actually Lee Kuan Yew asked me, I told him honestly, I wasn't enamored with the PAP. He was shocked. But, you see, he's a great man. He said, I don't want yes men. I want people who will tell me off. People with no hidden agenda. And he recognized that we don't have hidden agenda, but we always speak for the people. So this is what my fear. What is our system getting into? If we don't put a stop to it, we will have a whole parliament of ex-civil servants who implement the policies and now, who carve out the policy and now implementing the policy. How do you expect to change? So, you must really consider to bring in people, different kinds of people into parliament, to get that diversity of views, that diversity of opinion. Then we can have a good debate, and out of a good debate, good outcomes will come. Without good debate, I tell you, no. My time again, I have to tell you, when they had conceived this educational change, I stood up and said, this education system then would have stratified our society. The rich be there, the poor will be here. But we will never be a nation when we are so stratified in so many layers. So, what I'm still here, standing before you, I want to convince you. You must make that change. Do you know how hard for me, how difficult for me to convince young men and women to come forward and take a stand? They were so afraid. But they were not afraid. They chose to come with me. The 9 old chaps who come and set up my party, they were men of courage. So let me tell you, Singaporeans and people of Choa Chu Kang, this is our country. Help me make this change. So on 3rd of May, think carefully. You must get more opposition. It's not just PSP. People from the Workers' Party, SDP, they're all our friends. You see, 5 years ago, I sent teams to all over the island. I wanted footprints, but we made a lot of mistakes. So I'm telling you, don't worry, make mistakes. But this round, we consolidated our position. Why we consolidate our position is because I want to make sure young men and women like them must go into parliament to make the change. We are more organized now. Trust us. But we need help. We are not perfect. And we are not ashamed to tell you that we need help. So you must help me. Actually, not only help me, you're helping the country to make this change come on May the 3rd. So we have come back now. We have decided that we will not abandon West Coast and all the places we fought, except certain places we couldn't afford to continue to fight. Why? Because it's a responsibility. We don't want to run away from West Coast, where we had very marginally quite close to winning. So we are back, and we are more prepared to serve. And we have to bring the change. Remember, my friends, remember, the PAP has no monopoly of power. You all must come forward and be counted that this change must happen this coming May, 3rd of May. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tan. And now we come to our final speaker of the evening, a tireless champion for the people. Please give it up for Leong Mun Wai.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, fellow Singaporeans and residents of Choa Chu Kang, GRC, and Bukit Gombak SMC. A big thank you to all of you for coming today and have spent the last 2.5 hours standing there listening to us. And I can see the number of residents is still increasing. People are still coming in. I must also thank the two ladies who have put up the two placards for Dr. Tan and myself. It reads, Dr. Tan, I love you. And PSP, Leong Mun Wai forever. Thank you. Thank you. I've spoken about the declining standards of PAP at the last rally. Today, I will speak about what PSP has to offer to solve the problems faced by Singaporeans. There is a very big disconnect between the Singapore of the PAP and the Singapore of the people. Do you want a Singapore to be a paradise for a small group of elites and foreign billionaires who pay low taxes, get to enjoy good class bungalows, play golf at country clubs, and drive around on congestion-free roads in their Bentleys and Lamborghinis, while the elderly and destitute in Singapore sell tissue paper at hawker centers? Do you want that? Do you want a Singapore where Singaporeans have to pay higher and higher GST and other indirect taxes, including the land cost for public housing? Do you want that? Do you want a Singapore when young Singaporeans have to delay their plans to form a family because they have to wait for a long time for a BTO, which is smaller and smaller in size, but higher and higher in price? Do you want that? Do you want a Singapore where old Singaporeans have to worry about the lease decay, that the HDB flat they own goes to zero after 99 years? Do you want that? And do you want old Singaporeans having to downgrade to a smaller flat in order to retire? Do you want that? Do you want a Singapore where you have to endure more and more crowded MRT trains and rising public transport fees? Do you want that? Do you want a Singapore where Singaporeans experience more and more difficulty in finding good jobs despite heavy investment in education at our world-class universities? Do you want that? And finally, do you want a Singapore where more and more Singaporeans are facing mental health issues because it is so stressful to keep up with the very fast pace of life, high cost of living, and long working hours in Singapore? Do you want that? So when you go to the poll on 3rd May, think about what kind of Singapore do you want? PSP recognizes this big disconnect. Hazel and I have recommended many policies to tackle the problems of heartland Singaporeans head on. Of course, tomorrow the mainstream press will say PSP is just advocating spending money, spending money, spending money. But that is not the case. Besides the $6 billion that all my colleagues have, $6 billion surplus that the government had made, which all my colleagues have spoken just now, actually, the government has far more excess financial resources, a fact that I have debated in a full motion for public finance in Parliament in February 2024. Thank you. Thank you. Today, I want to address some issues that are even deeper than what we have talked about generally on policies. And that is about the fact that the PAP government is able to have a firm grip on the finances and hence the life and livelihoods of Singaporeans is because they have full control over the land and they have full control over our CPF accounts. Do we want to continue to allow them to do that? Currently, more than 80% of land in Singapore is owned by the government. A lot of this land was acquired from our parents and grandparents in the early 1970s and 80s, very cheaply. Sometimes it's even for $1 or $2. Like the land that the government has acquired from the villages of the Ama King and also Tengah. The government's current policy is that when HDB builds a new flat, it must put the cost of the land into the reserves. We have no problem, and I'm sure many of our parents and grandparents wouldn't mind, or at least in the end they accepted that the government has acquired the land for the good of the country. However, now the government is selling back the land to us at very high cost. One family came to see me. Their grandfather has lost the land, hundreds of acres of land, and was paid only $60,000. They came to me and say that was 30 years ago. Today, that piece of land was just sold 2 years ago for close to $1 billion. And at the same time, their nieces and nephews have to buy HDB flats at $500,000 each. Is that kind of Singapore we want? PSP wants to change that. PSP has proposed that every Singaporean should be entitled to a roof over their head without having the other Singaporeans to pay a hefty land cost for them. Why other Singaporeans? Because today, a Singaporean who buys a BTO flat, he can't afford the price if we include the whole land cost. So what the government has done is to ask all the Singaporeans to pay for it by charging the budget. That means taking the money from the taxes that all of us have paid for. Currently, the state does not charge land cost for schools and hospitals. So why can't we extend this policy to public housing? We want that, right? Under our proposal, if the HDB flat buyer just buy the HDB flat, the BTO flat, for living in, he doesn't need to pay the land cost. However, when he wants to resell the HDB flats for a profit, he needs to pay the land cost to the state. This is fair, right? Is that fair? Yes. Hence, the scheme that we have proposed, no land cost for public housing is not about giving away land free. It's about providing really affordable public housing to Singaporeans who only want a roof over their heads. Without land costs, just to give you an idea, a BTO today will cost only about $100,000 to $150,000, compared to the current BTO price of about $500,000. The PAP says our proposal is irresponsible. However, is the PAP responsible in promising Singaporeans asset enhancement for their HDB flats and now saying that it will become zero value when the 99-year lease is up? Is that fair? Have they been telling the truth? Even before the flat reaches 99 years, actually more and more Singaporeans will start to suffer from lease decay as their flat age beyond 40 years old. This means that there will be an increasing divergence between the price of younger flats and older flats. This will become more and more noticeable when flats become older and older. The raw deal that the residents of blocks 562 to 565 along Ang Mo Kio Avenue 3 for their SIRS in 2022. I don't know whether you all remember that or not. At the time, the Ang Mo Kio residents were complaining, and that came out in the mass media. I went out to try to render some help to them. And the reason why they didn't have a good deal compared to other SIRS in the past is because of the effect of lease decay. But 7 years ago, PAP promised that they would have some schemes to deal with the lease decay problem, like they have proposed VERS, Voluntary and Block Redevelopment Scheme. However, 7 days later, Singaporeans are still waiting. And I have questioned the ministers many times in Parliament. I say, lease decay is already causing problem to Singaporeans today. For those people who are owning older flats, why don't you come out with a solution as soon as possible? Those Singaporeans who are suffering actually do not know they are suffering. This is the kind of government who do not give us complete information. So I have asked them many times in Parliament. They say that it's coming, but till date, there has been no answer to them. So many years ago, when they say that they will find a solution for lease decay, was that just an empty promise? A lot of flats built in the 1970s will reach the 60-year mark very soon. Lease decay will start to have a bigger and bigger impact on our property prices. We need more certainty from the government for the sake of Singaporeans, not just empty talk. With our no land cost scheme, future Singaporeans will not have to worry about lease decay anymore because the price is low. The BTO price is low. And future generations of Singaporeans will not need to worry about ever increasing BTO prices. PSP's no land cost scheme is not radical. It is practical. It's compassionate. In fact, it is urgent. Do you agree? It makes public housing truly public again, not just in name, but in spirit. This is the kind of national policies we want to debate and find solutions for Singaporeans. We are very disappointed that the National Development Minister, Mr. Desmond Lee, who is directly in charge of public housing, did not seem to appreciate the advantages of our no land cost scheme. No wonder he has declined our invitation to a debate on national issues. He only seems to want to talk about local issues. But the national issues, which are far more important for Singaporeans to improve their lives and livelihoods, he doesn't want to debate with us. Every election, the PAP wants you to think that you are electing estate managers for the town councils. But actually, as MPs, we should be debating national policies. You are electing MPs because you want your MP to voice your problems and formulate good national policies. Agree? But this does not mean PSP neglect local issues. In fact, we have spoken about local issues. We have spoken about, for example, one of the most important things was the relatively poor public transport system in the West compared to the East. In October 2024, after the 6-day East-West line breakdown, I asked the government whether they will plan to connect the Jurong region line to the Circle line so that there are more alternatives for residents in the West to travel to the city. The government did not say yes at the time. But during the budget in February this year, they say they will do so. So there's a difference if there are people, there are MPs who speak up for you in Parliament. So send us to Parliament so that we can demand accountability. We can voice your problems in the Parliament. Thank you, thank you. My fellow Singaporeans, the 4G PAP has lost its way. As I've said during my first rally, the 4G government is no longer the grade A government we have known in the past for the previous generations of PAP government. We need to have a strong opposition in Parliament to hold the 4G PAP government to account and to ask questions when things go wrong. Increasingly, Parliament has become the only forum where Singaporeans can demand answers from the PAP government. Do you want the Parliament to be dominated only by PAP MPs? Who are unlikely to ask the sensitive questions when things go wrong, right? We must elect more constructive opposition MPs to Parliament. No more PAP free riders who don't dare to speak up for the people. If you agree to all this, Vote for progress for all. Vote for PSP. Can you repeat after me? Vote for PSP. Vote for PSP. Vote for PSP. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give a big round of applause to all our speakers tonight on stage. Woo! Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you and good night. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, MC. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you go, we kindly ask everyone, to disperse in a safe and orderly manner. Please follow the instructions of our marshals and volunteers as you exit the stadium. Is there anything else you want to do or say? All right. Okay. Remember, your voice matters and your vote matters. Your vote is important. Your every vote sends a signal, to us and to the PAP that you want more opposition voices in Parliament and progress for all, not just the elites. Thank you once again for being here. Watch your step as you leave the stadium. Have a great night. See you at the next rally. Good night.
I see you guys.